Erin, so welcome to Sport Beach.
Thank you.
So excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
So tell me a little bit about what makes Salesforce events, right? In your role as SVP of Strategic Events, the events are a benchmark, right? Dreamforce is a benchmark. What makes them so special in your eyes?
Yeah, we get this question a lot, and I always was nervous in the beginning that I would say something that gave away the secret sauce. But the reality is that we use events very differently than many companies use events. They are not only an opportunity for us to showcase our brand, they're an opportunity for us to connect our customers. And then they're also an opportunity for us to really make sure that we're out in front with our message. We're testing, we're learning, we're reflecting back, and we're tuning all the time. So big events like Dreamforce, that is an opportunity for us to take a ton of new ideas to market and then step back and say what's working, what's not, and tweak them. But everything we do is geared towards driving a business impact. So we set those goals really early with clarity. We're really clear on it. And if we go down a path where we're pursuing something that doesn't help us achieve one of those impact goals, we kill it and we focus on the things that do.
I think one thing that's really interesting is that Dreamforce becomes a benchmark, right? So other brands sort of look, what is Dreamforce going to do this year, right? How do you create an environment where, you know, the pressures of business, of growth, of delivering results are balanced with the opportunity for the team to really think wide and to come up with stuff that, you know, didn't exist before?
Yeah, well, I would say at a top line, Salesforce culture is one of innovation. In order to stay at the front of what all of our competitors are doing, we also have to walk that walk internally. So there is an embedded safety in that we love trying new things. And honestly, I encourage my team to make mistakes. I think part of my role is to catch those mistakes before they hit the show floor. But they all have space for that. And something that we are noticing is that we've been able to leverage AI tools to do some of the really mundane planning parts. And it's actually giving my team a little bit more space to get more creative and to challenge more things. Also to show me new renders and new creative and new ideas within like an hour instead of a few days. And then we can double down on taking that creative fully immersive and go a lot further. Like we're doing AI consultations to make your own custom ice cream flavor based on your LinkedIn profile. Like that's something that we might not have done before because we were spending more time on some of the tasks that it takes to get ready for an event. So it's an exciting time.
You can sense that the team feels empowered.
Yeah.
That it's like, if I know this is going to create more work, a substantial amount, I might be concerned about presenting the idea, but I think because you've kind of empowered them and there's the technology to support it, they're like, let's push, let's see what we can do next.
And then what we really encourage is the data, right? So if you're going to come in with an idea, what impact is it going to make? What data are you connecting it to? And then we can track it along the way. And if it's not quite getting there, we know if it's a hit or a miss. It's not objective at the end of an event. Was that successful? We know how many customers visited it. We know how long they stayed. We know how the follow-up went and if they actually engaged with us further. And we aren't, like, your success as an individual isn't tied to your own idea being successful. It's really tied to putting it all out there and being really transparent about if it hit the mark or not. But I think because of that, there is a layer of safety and excitement around innovation. And so the team gets really fired up for it. And personally, I love it, so they probably could feel that too.
Amazing, amazing. All right, so Agentforce, obviously, it's on everybody's lips, right? Big transformational tool for the company, but also for your customers, and the results are beginning to show. How is that also beginning to impact events and the bigger picture?
Yeah, there's so many ways. I think one of my favorite stories is when I share about Dreamforce. So Dreamforce is a 46,000 person small little conference where we, not unlike Cannes, but you know, pretty big, and we welcome everybody to San Francisco. But what is, I think, the blessing and curse of Dreamforce is that it's absolutely something for everyone. But in the old world, pre-Agentforce, how could you get to those things, right? You had to either spend probably more than an hour scrolling content sessions, talking to your AE, trying to get a friend who knew where all the cool parties were. And what we did this last year is we actually brought Agentforce to life. And what it was able to do was create personalized recommendations. Now, why does that matter? We learned through the use of AI and our personalized recommendations that AI is actually more successful at you showing up at a session than if you made your own agenda, which is wild. It is 30% more successful. It's not like 2% more successful. So if you use AI to do a recommended session schedule, you're 30% more likely to show up, which typically means that fatigue got you when you were building your agenda, or your EA, whoever built that agenda for you. And then what we also know is that when you attend a session that has a product that you're interested about or that you're pursuing, it's 70% more likely to close if you go to that session. So we apply those two metrics and leverage Agentforce to give you a personalized agenda and recommendation. the impact for the same volume of attendees is so much bigger.
Right.
So that's a big picture way. But then there's also like the really simple things. When you want a coffee, you're not going to scroll around the event and look for some random person who can tell you where a coffee is. But if you can just have it in the palm of your hand and ask the agent, and it can guide you to that, it actually does. It lifts your own experience. We saw about a 10-point jump in our NPS scores, which for an event that is as tried and true as Salesforce, we're pretty consistent in what we hit every year. And we attribute some of that to Agentforce.
I think also, like, practically, if it's an event that's been recommended to me, my engagement's going to be higher. Because I know the relevance is that much stickier.
And the reason is because we have the data, right? We know what you've attended in the past. We know who you are, what industry you're in, and we can connect that with content that you might not have known, right? So we can get you a lot closer to what is really relevant for you and really personalized for you.
Yeah, I think also one of the conversations I heard, which was like a eureka moment, is when you're booking these events and these talks, you have to overbook as you would anything, any event. But I'm guessing with Agentforce, there's probably less of that.
Yeah, I mean, Agentforce will actually tell you, it looks like you've overbooked, or you've booked this and you're actually 20 minutes to the next session, and it's only you only have a 5-minute change, so we'd recommend this session near you. I think that people sometimes forget in these huge experiences like Cannes, like Dreamforce, that it's really human. At the end of the day, you're just a person trying to get from point A to point B, and while we all like to pretend that we can bend time and be in multiple places at once, it's hard. And so I think Agentforce really allows you to take some of that complicated mapping out of things and just say, hey, listen, I don't think your turn time, you're not going to make it in time, but there's a session just around the corner that's going to be really relevant for your industry. It's going to completely change the way that events are run.
And I think you're going to start to see probably repeat visitations, people thinking, I need to come back, I got more value than I expected.
Well, that's NPS, right? As soon as people start having a better time at the event, then they start coming back, they start recommending it more, and you start seeing your event audience grow.
Fantastic. So as you're turning more to the future, and I know you can't reveal too much about the product roadmap, but just high level, where are you seeing these trends going, and where do you think the biggest benefit is going to start to show up?
I mean, I love ideas and innovation, so I can definitely go as high level as you want to go. But I think the thing that excites me is if you can just imagine you are a CMO that attends an event and you have an agent in your pocket and it pings you and lets you know when your top account has entered the same room as you, because we're all leveraging the same technology to recommend where you go next and to help you navigate your journey. And imagine the ability to already write your follow-ups for you, to do a recap of the session that you missed and put it right in a place that's easy for you to access. I think that the difference from just being able to take action, which we do today, right? You take action for you, we can connect you with an expert, we can connect you with peers. It's really going to be able to anticipate you. It's going to bring it all to you, and it's going to be adapting in real time during the event. You're going to have an agent that's guiding you through the best experience for both you and for your company, and integrate it into everything you do. So it's really going to make them a lot more impactful.
Yeah, I think one thing on our side that I find exciting is how AI is also beginning to permeate activations and experiences. So, you know, it's not just creating simple things like generating an image or a picture. It's beginning to recognize me. It's beginning to serve something that feels like I'm important. I'm a VIP at every step. And it's extracting value out of experiences that before was a bit more difficult, right? And so I think one of the exciting pieces of AI is also how I feel as a visitor stepping into an experience that is clearly orchestrated by AI. It's more personal, it's more valuable for me. I'm learning stuff I wouldn't have.
Well, and it's connecting you to the right experiences, right?
To the right experience.
These large events, it can be hard to get to those moments, but with AI, we absolutely can. I do not have enough staff to take 46,000 people hand by hand through an event, right? But that's the thing with AI generally, and with Agentforce, is that it scales to everybody in real time, in the moment that you need it. Which is pretty wild. We just had an event in London. We just wrapped it. I think we had 14,000 people check in within an hour, which is a wild endeavor. No lines.
Wow.
Because of the use of facial recognition, what was opt-in, their ability to move right through the lines and go right to the sessions that matter the most to them. So it's simple little things that I think we've almost in the events world gotten a little bit used to, and AI is changing all of it. And I see this, I mentioned it earlier as well, I definitely see this with my team. We used to have these really complex processes for putting together a really important C-level dinner and who sits with who. Now we can tell AI in a trusted place with guardrails what the parameters are, what the mixes we want at each table, with avoiding competitors, things like this, and it can spit us out a draft one. Now, the human doesn't go anywhere, right? Because it's very important that you read that. AI gets things wrong, but we have to keep the human in the loop and be able to edit that. But what used to take several days and probably 5 humans is down to like an hour and 1, right? And then it can be submitted for final approval. So we're seeing it in the little structural things that we do every day. And then I think in the big picture way, we are just like on the precipice of the changes that are going to come. I think it's probably more than any of us can imagine, but I'm really excited because I would like an agent in my pocket at all times. Letting me know when I need to say hi to someone in the room. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I'm very right brain, so anything that would organize my life would be
Yes.
fantastic. Or is it left brain? One or the other.
We don't even know. That's how much we need the agent.
I think one of the things that's exciting also about the opportunity to come to Cannes is we rarely as an industry get to meet, network, mingle, and learn stuff. Like what are you excited to learn about and to discover? Where is your head at?
I'm very excited to go to all the different build outs and experiential things that are happening up and down the beach here. I think Salesforce is a company that has taken cues from other industries to build innovative things in our space. And so we do the same, and I can't wait to explore and see what experiential things are people doing that are moving the needle, that are getting you excited, that are engaging with customers in new ways, that are leveraging AI. And so I want to see that all come to life. I also think we're at an interesting pivot from hype on AI to delivery. I'm curious to see who else besides Salesforce is delivering on AI
100%.
and what it looks like, and if there are use cases that are being talked about here. If not, come by the Salesforce beach. We'll show you the use cases we're talking about there. But I think just overall checking out what everybody's doing and getting inspired by the creativity here and the industry push forward to think about things anew.
I love that. I think there's a lot of messaging. There's probably a lot of fatigue around AI. So proof points are critical, and Salesforce does that incredibly well. So lovely to meet you, and thank you, not to meet you, but to work with you and to meet you in person.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.